Hello, everybody. Excuse me, I was grooving along to my intro music. And I thank you all for your patience in me starting up the live stream a little bit late tonight. I had a very important phone call that I needed to return, and it absolutely could not wait. So thank you. Thank you for your patience in the late start for the live stream, in which we are talking about tarot and astrology part 2. This is part 2 of a episode that we started last week, which was tarot and astrology part 1, where we talked a little bit about the astrological associations to the major arcana of the tarot, the 22 cards of the major arcana of the tarot. And this time around, since we were really in depth, I think that episode was over 2 hours in length, and I figured we would split it up by popular demand. We would split it up into 2 parts. So this episode, we are talking about the minor arcana and the associations there. And I do see that Sophia is here, star that she is. Hello, Sophia. Sophia is here and definitely has a more tothy or is more tothy of a reader than I am. So she might be able to help chime in and talk a little bit about the astrological associations as they're applied to the minor arcana. So it's just like, I'm putting you on blast, Sophia. Like, you're helping out with this episode. Also, if you happen to be viewing on the Book of Face, Sophia has been given moderator privileges. So if you're an asshole, she will ban you and boot you. I have given her permission to do so because sometimes when I'm teaching an episode or a topic that's pretty heavy in nature, I can't both focus on the chat and all of the spammers that are going on in the chat and solicitation and everything like that, and also teach at the same time. So Sophia has already reached out to me privately and asked me, like, hey, I don't mind moderating. So I've set that up on the Book of Face. On the Tube of You, it's a different story, and I don't know how to do that. And usually we don't have that many problems on the Tube of You, and I am like knocking on wood when I say that, by the way, so that we don't have any continued problems with that. So Katie is also here. Hello, Katie. And Sophia is saying hi to Katie and also saying all good. And once I figure out how to do that, it's on. Yeah, I'm sure there's instructions or something. I gave you the permission. I also gave myself the permission from my personal page. So, if I have to stop, drop, and get in there myself, I can do it without having to switch over to my professional page for the Book of Face. Anyway, okay, new person, Ine. I guess I shall behave then. I'm sure you will. Ine. You're already doing just fine. As long as you don't start messaging people and saying, Grand Rising, beloved, I have a message for you. Please, friend me so that I can give you this message or deliver this message, then you're ahead of the game. That's kind of the stuff that we've been dealing with in some of the past live streams that we've been doing. It's frustrating and weird, especially when it's just like, hello, I'm facilitating this live stream. I am a professional reader. You can, book me on my website, tarotbyhillary.com, but it's like kind of rude to go into other people's live streams and advertise yourself. I don't know. It's not done, or it should not be done. It's not very nice. Anyway, Katie's just like, go Sophia, boot 'em. And Katie is also saying hello to you. Yeah, I agree. Got to keep it minty fresh. I agree. Yeah, so this episode, let me actually pull up my overlay that I did for this episode. I'm pretty sure I did do one because it's going to be the same as last week's. Yeah, it's the same as last week. Actually, you know what? I think I might have done another one and like adjusted the sidebar agenda a little bit, so it moved things up so that everything could be clean and the lower third doesn't block out some necessary information. So let me see if I actually can put that up there. Yes. Yes, I did do that. See, past Hillary was very smart and nice to future Hillary or present Hillary. There we go. I still didn't move things up quite as much as I would have liked, but that's okay. But you can see the difference now, right? A little bit there. Anyway, I don't really have to have on the overlays all the time. But yeah, this is the reason why I updated the overlay so that you can have at a glance the agenda right here. And I might take off the overlay if it's getting in the way of the things that I'm trying to display. If I want to display, the minor arcana and then their astrological associations, or if I want to display Sophia, you're gonna have to like check my pronunciations here. Is it decan wheel or is it decan wheel? Decan? I think it might be decan. I don't know. I'm always notoriously bad at pronouncing things because most of the things that I've learned out of a book. So I don't necessarily know if I'm doing the right pronunciation. I mean, like I mispronounced faux pas, fox pox for years. Years. Okay. That's how bad it is. Okay. So Sophia's saying decan. Decan. Okay. So I think I was saying it correctly. Hopefully. Anyway, when you know better, you do better, right? So decan wheel. Like the religious figure. Got it. Deacon. Oh, deacon. Oh, deacon wheel. All right. I'll just keep on pronouncing it deacon, even if it's not. All right. So anyway, we have the overlay right here. We have our little agenda here. That QR code that's up at the top, if you want to use it, it's just going to take you directly to my website, tarotbyhillary.com, or you can go ahead and put in that URL if you feel so inclined right here as well. And then here's our agenda. And this is our agenda that we have pretty much every live stream that happens 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Friday. We start off the episode with the astro-weather from Teresa Reed's Astrobiz Digest. We move on to the topic of this week's episode. It's Tarot and Astrology, Part 2. We'll do the mid-episode reading if there is enough interest from live viewers. And then we will end with the weekend forecast, which is a tarot or oracle card to guide you through the weekend. And the mid-episode reading is truly as mid as it can get. I'll like teach on tarot and astrology a little bit, and then when I get to a nice pause point, I will move into the mid-episode reading. And so one lucky viewer will win a tarot reading, a 3-card tarot reading right here on the broadcast. But that is a feature that is only available to live stream viewers, live on the live stream. So, and it's encouraging people to tune in because it's always more fun to tune in live. That's always been my belief. So did I do my introductions? Did I do my actual spiel introduction? For those of you who know, but like, I don't think I did. Did I? I was thanking people for their patience. Thank you, Sophia. Not fully. Okay, well, for those of you who are tuning in and this is your first time tuning in, let me do my actual welcome and introduction. Catching myself, you guys keep me honest in the chat, and I thank you for that. So hello, welcome to another episode of Tarot by Hillary Live. I am your hostess with the mostest, Hillary of tarotbyhillary.com, professional tarot reader and EFT tapping practitioner, demystifying the mystical and putting you in touch with the most beautiful gifts, your own intuition. Because yes, my friends, do not argue with me. You have intuition. That is the normal spiel. Okay, cool. And Dina just got here, so she's here just in time for me to backtrack and do my actual introduction that everyone knows me for now. Can you believe that I've been doing this for over 3 years? And I think I didn't start doing that spiel or that little introductory bit, I think I call it kind of my elevator pitch or, elevator blurb because it's short and sweet and it introduces with my name and my title and da 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 and my website. I don't think I did that until maybe 2 years into doing the live stream. So some of the live stream features that you've come to like know and love, really are more recent developments in the process, just from like practice and going live each and every week. Like, where did this come from, right? Like, where did my little intro come from? It's because I saw other people doing it, and I'm just like, I kind of want to do that. I kind of want to do that whole like, I don't know, 90s TGIF sitcom. Everywhere you look, everywhere you look. So I just did it for myself. So Sophia says, I got to come up with one for my YouTube Toth stuff that doesn't make me seem like a Toth asshole. Yeah, I mean, like, you're not like, that's, how do I say that? Like, how do I pay you a compliment that doesn't end up coming off as a backhanded compliment? Um, but like, I think that's it. I think just what you just did is how you would. It's just like, hey, I'm into talk stuff, but I'm not an asshole. Follow me, subscribe, click the bell. I don't know. Probably something like that. Katie says, with pronunciation, Google will give to you, as in when you Google deacon meaning, we'll have a soundbite pronunciation. Yeah, I'll sometimes do that. Like I definitely did that when I was in publishing because I had to provide a pronunciation without diacritical marks for the children's books that would have the children's books that I would be copy editing, especially if they had a glossary and an index. We would usually provide pronunciations, but we wouldn't use diacritical marks. So we would have to do it in such a way that it made sense for younger children that are learning. And so that was kind of my go-to, would be to listen and also like use like kind of the formula we would use and then listen and be like, okay, it's this. So like if you really wanted to know how that would come out for like my understanding of pronunciations, it would be, so it's a hard C, which would be a K. It would be this or this. I'm gonna put it into the chat and see if I'm correct. But this is how I would do it. So Sophia, you're gonna have to check my work. But I would not use Google. I would use Merriam-Webster. That would be that would be my go-to dictionary. So mw.com or m-w.com. That's how I would do it. And the all caps would be the stress points, the stressed syllable. Yeah. There's some, you know, that was 16 years of my life, man, or less than 16 years of my life. But can't just turn it off, even though I've been a year out of that and into my tarot business. So deacon or decan. Sophia says I've been going based on Lon Milo DuQuette's Who's Toth Jesus right now. And I mean, even Toth, is it Toth or is it Thoth? Is it a hard T or is it a TH blend? Because I've heard people say it either way. Is it tarot or is it tarot? Because it's definitely not tarot like carrot. And Katie's saying, it says Decan. Oh dear. Anyway, um, j- just because we can't pronounce it right now doesn't mean that we can't learn about it, right? And Sophia says, I saw Thoth. I say Thoth, but I'm from New York. I also am from New York. So we may not be the best examples of pronunciation sometimes. Like coffee talk. Ooh, actually I kind of want a cup of coffee. That might not be a good idea right now. I have my hibiscus. So I have my hibiscus LaCroix, which is I think the only acceptable um flavor of LaCroix out there. I've tried other ones and just has not worked. So, and then I have my trusty water back here. By the way, if you see that my background is a little bit different, it's only because I am not willing to assign homework to my mentees without also doing it myself or doing a version of it myself. Like I'm very much practiced, but like walk the walk and talk the talk. Like talk the talk, but then also make sure you walk the walk. So I've been playing around with my background for my videos. So I've got my drink up witches mug that I have my pens in. Also, I'm wearing my drink your water hat from Gala Darling today. I love that my bra matches exactly. So the hat is from Gala Darling. The bra, the sports bra, is from She Fit. It's actually quite awesome. It has a little pattern on the sides. So, and then I've got my water bottle from Water Drop. And then if you can see in the background, I've got my book, How to Read Tarot, in the background here, along with a couple of little fancy perfumes there. And then on the other side, I have one of my spread cloths covering over my bed. So you don't see a pillow there, you see a spread cloth. So that's my attempts at kind of like rearranging my studio space. So, um, Sophia says coffee is always a good idea, though I might make some tea. Tea is fine too. Like we're gonna be in it for a little while on this topic. Katie says Merriam-Webster writes it Deccan. Okay. Yep, D. So that's the stressor. The little apostrophe there shows where the stress is, and it's deacon because that upside down e is called a schwa, and so it kind of subs in for u sound. So decun or decun. Yeah. Anyway. Yes. So Sophia says my book is available now at any place that sells books that isn't the A place. Correct. Yeah, it's right back there. So that is my book. So we have someone on the tube of you saying, "How are you, Zarian?" I guess, and can I get a reading? You may get a reading. You may be eligible to get a reading later on in the broadcast. So stay tuned. You might be eligible to win a 3-card reading with me. But if you can't wait and you're looking to schedule something, tarotbyhillary.com is the place to book a reading with me. But we've got some astrology coming up, Zarian. So you may be interested in staying tuned for that. So let's get started, right? We've got the astro weather. So the astro weather, I am not an astrologer. I just know enough astrology to be dangerous. But the astro weather comes from the wonderful. So let me double check that. No, that's not it. Never mind. Remove that source. I picked the wrong link. Anyway, the astro weather is from Teresa Reed's wonderful Astrobiz Digest. Let me go ahead and show that if I can. Hold, please. Okay. So Teresa does this wonderful subscription called the AstroBiz Digest, and for $99 a year, you can get astrology in layman's terms straight to your inbox. I highly recommend it, but we start every episode of this live stream every week with the astrology from the AstroBiz Digest, a little guide to basically the big transits that are going on this week, and then we dive into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And if you want more, you know where to find it because I've just put the link into the chat. So this is where you can find it if you want to subscribe to it. I highly, highly recommend it. It is geared towards entrepreneurs and business owners, but I have found it very helpful to plan out my own personal life as well. Gives you like power days, when to launch, when to maybe back off, when communication might be a little bit weird, when communication might be good. So good stuff there. So let me close that off and show that. So let me go ahead and pull that up right now. And let's see. Yes. So weekly forecast, January 23rd to the 29th. We're getting into, I can't believe it's going to be February next week. Geez. So last week, so Teresa says last week was astro nutty in a good way. So much was happening, planet station direct, the changing of the sun. So the sun moved into Aquarius, and that new moon in Aquarius. So we had a new moon last week in Aquarius. So Teresa said, I don't know about you, but it felt like a dammed up river. I felt like it was a dammed up river that began to flow. Uranus turned direct this past Sunday at 5:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And when Uranus, so it was retrograde. When Uranus is retrograde, the effects are subtle. You might not even notice what's going on, but you might feel as if something is trying to happen. Uranus is associated with rebellion, change, technology, and revolution. On the world stage, it usually seems as if the powers that be have been working overtime to oppress cultural shifts. But now that Uranus is direct, the pushback will be fierce. Because this is like a huge intro for this week. Because Teresa studies the planets from the business standpoints, she uses this Uranus retrograde to contemplate her relationship with social media. She's been dealing with scads of imposters, me too. There's been a lot of metaphysical people and readers that have been dealing with scammers and spammers and charlatans. If you want to know more about that, there is a past replay of an episode that you can check out on either my Book of Face or my Tube of You channel. Feel free to look for that because I also offer information on how to deal with that if you happen to suspect that there's a scammer or a spammer or an impersonator. Anyway, but it's been a problem for many of us for over a year now, if not longer. So it has soured Teresa's experience over on the gram of Insta. And the gram of Insta does little to protect followers too. Like I know this for a fact as well because I've tried to report impersonators of my friends, people that I know in real life, and also myself. I've been impersonated several times where it's just like tarot by Hillary 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 13, however many, and I just knocked over something with my gesticulating because I'm so mad about this issue. I'll have to pick that up later. And they often don't do anything about it. And sometimes I don't even know about it because the spammer will preemptively block the person that they're impersonating. Anyway, it's a whole big thing. Check out that past episode that I just mentioned. And they also refuse to verify people like Teresa and like myself. And for Teresa is verified on every other social media space. And it's aggravating. And she has a lot of followers. And I think she's working on her 9th book now. So she's the real deal. Anyway, other folks in the industry have begun leaving the gram of Insta or going private. And then turning your business page to private means you lose many useful features. Plus, new people cannot find you. So she doesn't recommend that. I don't recommend it either. And I do have a business account over on the Gram of Insta too. It would be a pain in the butt to change it to a personal account in order to then make it private. And I don't want to do that. And I want more people to find my work. I can't have more people find my work if I'm a private account. So all of that being said, she explored different options during the retrograde, the Uranus retrograde. And now she's starting to put things in motion for changes that make sense to her business, such as dialing back her presence on there and dropping a major new offering. And I think she's already done that, or she's about to do that. And I think it involves text, some of her stuff going directly to text message and like take it out of the take it out of the social media algorithms and like directly onto people's phones through their text messages. Awesome, Zarian. So you liked and subscribed. Wonderful. Great. I don't know if you did that for my channel or if you liked and subscribed or you subscribed to the Astro Biz Digest, but either way, I'm just happy to have you here. So welcome. Anyway, lots of stuff happening now that Uranus is direct after being retrograde, right? And why is she sharing this? And why am I sharing this with you? Because she loves giving folks an inside look at how she uses astrology for her business. And in turn, how I use astrology for my business. It's all about being intentional with your work, and astrology helps her do that. And astrology helps me do that, which is why I share part of it with you each week, to encourage you to, like, if you like what you're hearing here and how you can use astrology in real practical terms, I would recommend signing up for the Astro Biz Digest. It's $99 for the year. It's really, really worth that money. And in fact, I think that's like relatively inexpensive for the amount of information that you're getting. Anyway, so moving on. The only significant change this week is Venus strutting into compassionate Pisces on the 26th. So that happened yesterday. Venus is exalted in Pisces, meaning the best qualities of the goddess of love are brought forth when she tours this sign. For business, it means you've got ample creative inspiration at your fingertips for a few weeks. Use this energy to create new marketing campaigns or pretty up your website. Actually, I think we did that a little bit for Card Slingers Coast to Coast, which is one of the podcasts that I host with my two other card slinging friends. So I'll tell you more about that after we're done. Because of the sensitive nature of this transit, you'll also want to be tender with people. A thoughtful approach works best, even if the client is driving you bananas. Lastly, you'll want to let your heart lead your business decisions. I know, that goes against all of that cool-headed Aquarian logic, but a balance can be struck. So Venus zips into feisty Aries on February 20th. And I'm using this good mojo to get fresh headshots on the 8th. That's from Teresa. I'm not getting fresh headshots, but I might now that she's put that idea into my head. So that is the overall transits that are going on this week. And I'll give it a little bit of a pause before we move into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, because that's a lot to take in. Whoo! So while I'm taking that little pause, and since Zarian said liked and subscribed, I would love to remind you to like and subscribe, follow, like, subscribe, click the bell, wherever it is that you're tuning in from, and know that we do this every Friday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on different topics. I almost needed to cancel next week, but I have already put on my calendar that we're doing an unboxing of the Labyrinth Tarot. That is something that I put on my calendar like almost immediately and I still have that in the cellophane. So that's going to be a true unboxing next week. And that's also the reason why I want this to be part 1 was last week and part 2 is this week for tarot and astrology, so that we can move into a new topic, the unboxing, fresh and not having anything linger. So, but yes, I would love to remind you to follow me, subscribe, click the buttons, do the things, click the bell. etc. And also book a reading with me if you'd like to. tarotbyhillary.com. I am available through my online scheduler that is integrated right into my website. And I also do email readings too, and Zoom, Skype, phone, in person. So, and I have a bunch of clients from all over the world. I've got people that I read for in Australia, Riyadh, England, on the West Coast. So, you know, time, distance, it doesn't matter. As long as our time zones match up, you can have a live reading experience one on one, or if our time zones don't match up, you can definitely book an email reading instead. So, and also tapping as well. I am a EFT tapping practitioner. Tap on the hand, say the things, follow along with me. And I have been doing more tapping videos and putting them on the tube of you. So if you're interested in that, I actually just finished recording one that had been requested previously that I've been working on and working on. I finally went ahead, did the recording, and that tapping on boundaries should be out soon. And you're going to see this. This is what I looked like when I was recording it. There's also a tapping on there for sleep and quieting and resting your anxiety-ridden bedtime brain. So that is already out there. So if you have trouble sleeping, you might want to try that tapping. Tap along with me, do what I do, take a little bit of water, not too much, because you don't want to wake up in the middle of the night and ruin the good night's sleep that you had by needing to pee from drinking too much water, But yeah. So follow, subscribe, book a reading, etc. So that I can keep doing what I'm doing here. I also would remind you, if you do like these, why can't I find it? Well, I mean, oh, that's cute. Let me see. Ooh, okay. Yeah, and 30 minutes, 30 minutes is $75, and an hour long reading is $130. And then for my EFT tapping sessions, I believe it's $150 for an hour, and that there is a recording that I will send to you, and you can always revisit that tapping that is personalized for you. And that replayability factor is so key, because it might hit you different at different times. I love tapping. Love, love, love it. But if you're curious about tapping, and $150 feels a little steep for you right now, I am doing a little discount that is available until Tuesday. If you use the code GALA, GALA, when you're booking a tapping session, you can get half off. All right, now back to your regularly scheduled astrology. So for Friday, today, Friday, January 27th. Friday is problematic. Fantastic. Friday is problematic for business communication. Mercury is square Chiron beginning at 5:42 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which means words go nowhere. Meetings are full of aggravation, negotiations fall flat, and entitled types will be in full-on manipulation mode. Sigh. I would not recommend scheduling important meetings today, nor would I engage in online banter with jerks. Good luck to everyone tonight if they act like a jerk, because I'm not having it. We are not having that here in this space. If clients are pushing buttons, you do not have to respond to that email either. A great spot for taking the lead in your industry occurs when the moon sextiles Saturn at 10:13 a.m. Use this time for inspirational speeches and showing the world how a pro rolls. Slow down and rest when the moon stations void after squaring Pluto at 4:01 p.m. This aspect adds kerosene to the assholes of the day, which could turn arguments into full-blown war of words. Nope. Instead, you're better off sipping tea and reading a book. Once the moon shimmies into Taurus at 6:42 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which has just passed, the energy starts calming down. This lunation is your best bet for handling finances, investing in your biz, and creative work. It gets a bit of help when the moon is in sextile with Venus at 8:56 p.m., a dynamic aspect, dynamic, dynamite aspect for cash attraction and art. Even though that ugly Mercury Chiron aspect is still present, you can busy yourself with budgeting and creativity. Much better. So today, Friday the 27th, is a power day for Aries and a weekday for Libra. Shall we keep going into Saturday and Sunday? Please let me know in the chat. Yeah. Yeah, Sophia's watching. I'll get you. No funny business. No funny business going on here. And I'm going to take a sip of my LaCroix. All right, for Saturday, I'm looking specifically on Sunday for plans that I just made on the phone. So I'm like on heavy alert for Sunday. But let's see. Let's see what Saturday and Sunday has in store. The moon is still in Taurus this weekend, so you'll have plenty of time for making cash or art. Yay! The only sour spot on Saturday happens when the moon squares the sun at 10:19 a.m. At that time, the public is not in the mood to buy. So it's best to keep your marketing light. The evening is much better. The moon Mercury trine at 8:44 p.m. is followed by a moon Uranus conjunction at 10:37 p.m. A terrific combo for online marketing and smart PR campaigns. Get your fine self out there, and you could see a nice influx of moolah in your world. Sunday is clear in the morning, which means you can market your little heart out. The public is ready to spend, so ensure you're getting their attention with creative marketing. A moon Neptune sextile at 3:02 p.m. brings intuitive insights into how to handle your resources. Blah, blah, blah. Pay attention to your instincts if you're looking to invest in anything, even a new computer. I'm eyeing that purple iMac. Teresa is. I'm not. Well, I'd be fine with it. Take a break when the moon squares Saturn at 7:03 p.m. The energy is sluggish then, so it's best for rest. But don't opt out entirely because the cosmos delivers two excellent aspects tonight. The Sun-Mars trine at 8:45 p.m., followed by a Mercury-Uranus trine at 9:16 p.m. This dynamic duo is stellar for PR campaigns, pitching the media, public speaking, writing, retreats, and online marketing. Why sleep when you can be a business baller? Both days, Saturday and Sunday, are power days for Taurus and weekdays for Scorpio. Whew, I am happy that Sunday morning is looking clear. That's when my plans are. So, all right. Any questions about the astrology from the past week that I didn't cover? So I usually do overall transits and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, because I don't want to give away all of Teresa's good work. And again, if you're looking to get a copy of the AstroBiz Digest for yourself, it's right here. I'll display it right here on screen, but it is also in the chat for you. thetarolady.com/AstroBiz Digest to get a copy of it for yourself, $99 for the year. But I usually like to take the time before we move into the main topic of the night's episode to ask, was Tuesday weird for you, or was Wednesday weird for you, or was Monday kind of odd, or whatever. And then I can look very quickly to see if there might have been an astrological reason for why that is. So feel free to put that into the chat. I'm going to take off my little cardigan here, because it is warm in here. And this always happens when I'm live streaming, where I cannot regulate my temperature. I might take off my hat too, but I kind of like it though. I like this hat a lot. I have two hats from Gala. One is Vortex Goddess, because I was like kind of not really an admin, but for the second year of the Vortex, I was kind of like helping newer members. And this is Gala Darling's membership site that I'm talking about, kind of like work their way through the materials that were there. And so she sent us a nice pink hat that said Vortex Goddess. So I have that. I got this. And then I ordered a High Vibe Honey pink sweatshirt, which is like one of the most comfortable sweatshirts I've ever had because it's nice and fuzzy on the inside. So, but I like this hat a lot. And it already came kind of like the rim kind of came a little bit curved already. And I adjusted it in the back so that it fits my small head. So, Sophia said, good. The rest of my YouTube stuff comes Saturday. Fantastic. Fantastic. So any takers for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or shall we move into astrology and tarot part 2? And I do have questions that are coming up about when will the live reading start. I see that in the chat. I'm not ignoring you. I acknowledge that. So the live reading, I mean, other than the astrology that I just gave you, that's a form of a reading too. That is the mid-episode reading. So it happens mid-episode. So we'll get into the topic for a little bit, and then we will break. And not everyone's getting a reading at that time, but you can enter in to be eligible for a live reading. So that happens mid-episode. Just to clarify for some of the newer people that are viewing tonight. All right, so let's talk about tarot and astrology. Let me hide. Well, I can actually keep that going. Let me take that away. Okay. So what we're talking about, and again, we began this work last week. So if you're coming here for part 2 and you haven't watched part 1 yet, that's totally fine. But like, after the episode, you might want to, return and watch part 1. It's fine if you haven't yet. Just, eventually get to part 1 so you can find out about the tarot and astrology associations for the major arcana in the tarot. But for tonight's episode, we're into part 2 and we're talking about the minor arcana of the tarot and their astrological associations. And Sophia, actually, if you're up for it, did you want to come on and explain a little bit about what a deacon wheel is? Because I know you're very thothy. If you're not camera ready, that's fine. But if you are, let me know. Send me a message and I'll send over the link. So let me open up my messages for that. I'm starting to have like many tabs happening right now. No, I have other people messaging me too, which is kind of funny. Cool. I can do that. Let me put on a different shirt. Cool. I will send you the link and then come on when you're ready. Copy the link. Okay, cool. But in the meantime, let me go ahead and show some of these deacon wheels. I'm just going to remember deacon, like Sophia said, deacon, deacon, deacon. Let's see. So we had 3 that we were looking at a little bit prior to ending last week's episode. So we got a little bit of a preview of this week's episode. Let's see. So here's a fancy one. Here's another one. And then here's the deluxe one. So I believe Katie was asking me, like, where'd you get that from? Where'd you find that? And I believe this last one that I have displayed is a something that I found on Google image search. I just put in deacon wheel, CAN wheel. And this is what came up. So I think all of these images I found on Google image search, but there was a particular link that I found that explained about the associations of tarot and astrology, and that it's not just applicable to the major arcana of the tarot, it's also applicable to the minor arcana. And I have my notes in here somewhere, I swear. Yeah, found it. Oh yeah, this is what I wanted to show. Ha ha ha. I found it. So we're going to have a little bit of a moment here with another YouTube video. Let me hide that and let me show this one. No, I don't want to upload. Hold, please. Now my staging is like humongous. There's a lot. There's a lot going on here right now. Found the others, but not the deluxe one, sadly. Yeah, I'll have to send it along to you. All right, but let's see. Let me hide this. Number 2 is number 1. Okay.
Hello everyone, today I will be talking to you about the decan wheel. This is our decan wheel and you are probably getting impatient because you're waiting for my videos about the cards, but this is the last element that we need to know before we start talking about each of the cards and their interpretations and the symbolism included in them. So the decan wheel has cards of minor arcana assigned here. So we have all of the pip cards here, so from 2 all the way through to 10. The aces are not included in the decan wheel just because, for example, if we have 2 of wands here, 2 of wands has the energy of Mars in Aries, and all of these cards have a certain planet in a sign assigned to their meaning. The aces are the pure potential of the element. So if the Ace of Wands is the pure potential of the element of fire, it cannot be assigned anywhere here. This is too specific for the ace to be assigned to any of the decans. So that's why we don't have the aces here, but we have pip cards here. And then, which is very interesting, we have court cards on this outer wheel here. And from this, we can find out something more about the interpretation of these cards. So for example, if we have Knight of Swords here, he rules these 3 decans, okay? So these 3 cards are associated with his character. So this is how we interpret him. And this is the 7 of Discs, the 8 of Swords, and the 9 of Swords. And this is our Knight of Swords.
So I'm going to pause that here because Sophia is ready to join us. Sophia, are you ready? Okay, I'm getting a thumbs up here. So I'm going to go ahead and hide that video. Here comes Sophia. And we also can get a live reaction on a little bit of that, video that we just saw. So hi, Sophia, welcome.
Hello, hello.
Hi, Brad. It's nice to have you on again. So were you able to hear a little bit? I know she was kind of quiet, so I tried to turn up the volume as much as I could. But do you agree with some of the things that she was saying, or do you have a different understanding of what a deacon wheel is?
I kind of take the deacon wheel as similar to the Fool's Journey in the Major Arcana. It's kind of just the path that we go through during the year. So like, say for example, in now of course my brain is completely failing me, but say in Virgo we have the 8, 9, and 10 of Pentacles. So if you line up within the 10 of Pentacles, then that is something that you think about in your life path. So think about, like, I'm the 10 of Pentacles, fabulous. It seems like I don't have to worry too much about my source of abundance in life. So that's one thing. Or say if you're a Gemini and you're a 10 of Swords person, that may be something that you need to pay attention to. Or for example, say you're going off into the world and having grand romantic escapades. Maybe if the person you're seeing is a 10 of Swords person, maybe you want to think twice before you enter into that. Think about how that fits within your chart. That's not saying that Geminis are bad. I love a Gemini, but like things like that, like different cards can color different understandings.
Right, right. And this is part of the reason why I wanted to teach this particular area of tarot, because standalone tarot is a great divination system. Standalone astrology is a great divination system. But together, we have this deepening of understanding. And then if you know one, you can start to understand the other one a little bit better. So if it's like if you're more of a tarot-y person, and then you're adding in some of this astrology, you start to understand how astrology plays out a little bit more, and vice versa. If you're more of an astrology person and you don't really know about the tarot, you can start to understand how the tarot concepts play out a little bit better through that lens of astrology, which is what you do know. It's like the divination system that you do know possibly can be a gateway into another divination system that you might not have been comfortable exploring had you not had this like kind of gateway drug of tarot or astrology.
It also definitely changes the cards as well. Like I have one of my greenies here because, like, for example, it really fleshes out the minors specifically. Like, for example, the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands is an expansion. It's a growing, it's a coming out of sorts, but it's also, we have Aries and the Sun together on this card. So it's how do those astrological concepts blend together? We have the dominance potentially from the Aries, the Sun, kind of this moving forwards growth energy. So this could be, say you're making career moves or you're trying to move forwards in that kind of way. This could bode well for you because you have that assertiveness of the Aries going with the growth in the Sun.
And you can see how the I don't see it as much in a Rider-Waite-Smith deck, that those astrological influences. Besides the fact that, you know, like the Meraki Tarot, which is the deck that I'm working with this month, and I mean, it has a little tiny astrological symbol or planetary symbol on the bottom right, and that's great to know that. But there are quite a few Rider-Waite-Smith cards that are very more obvious about it, like Aries, for example. The Aries association with the Emperor, it's kind of like in your face out there because you've got the rams on the throne, on the hand rests, and then also on the top of the throne. But you know, for the Minor Arcana, I don't see that as much in the Rider-Waite-Smith, but I definitely see the astrological and elemental influences in the Minor Arcana for the Thoth.
I would agree. I feel like in the RWS with those scenic minors, based on my understanding of astrology, I feel like not a lot of times, but there are definitely instances where I feel like the scenes in the RWS minors definitely contradict the astrology. It's one of those reasons why, as I've kind of developed as a reader, I find myself leaning more on Thoth and other decks. That one of my tarot coven friends describes them as pips with feelings. So they're not just circles, sticks, and cups. Like the Thoth pips, like it's a pip, but there's feelings here. There's some stuff going on. So I feel like pip decks give me more space in a way to let the astrology and all of that stuff kind of flow, because I'm not confined to a woman with grapes or a man by a building, like things like, which are wonderful, but they have times and places.
Right. And can you give a little bit of insight on how to read a deacon wheel? Because we had a little bit of it happening in this video, and I do like the one that she was using. It was actually quite nice and pretty. But just reading it through and like finding out this information, like for example, I found out that if I was truly doing my significator card through the deacon wheel, I would be Queen of Wands based on my birth date, based on my astrology and my birth date. Now, I think of myself more of a Queen of Swords than a Queen of Wands, but I can also see why it would be that from that perspective using the deacon wheel. So I can grab one of the deacon wheels that I've been using. Do you have a preference on which one?
I like the big one. The deluxe one is my favorite.
Yeah, the deluxe one is pretty nice. I'm not sure why. I don't know. Maybe I just can't find it. I'll have to send it along. So if people are having trouble finding the deluxe one, let me know and I can just send the image to you. So here
Yeah,
we have it. And I'm going to take my face off of here if I can, just so people can see all of this. If I can, if the damn thing will let me. Hold on, please. Got a lot of stuff going on in the studio here. All right. I'm stopping my video, but I think everyone can still hear me. So Sophia, go ahead.
Yes. So hostile takeover has been successful. No, but so in the center of it, so you'll see that little white circle in the middle. So those are all of your zodiac signs. They're real tiny. So if you're on mobile or on a device and you're able to stretch it, that might be the easier way to see it. So
Mhm.
it goes around in a circle. And so we start with Aries, and then it always will go fire, earth, air, water, etc. around the circle. And then so you have in the center, you have your zodiac signs. So then we're following that red slice that is Aries. So you
Mhm.
see your zodiacal symbol, it's a fire sign. It's a cardinal sign. So there's 3 different kinds of zodiac signs. There's cardinal signs, which are like your cardinal signs. So there's mutable signs, fixed signs, and cardinal signs. So your cardinal signs are the 4 that if you look at your wheel of fortune, those are those animals that are pictured there.
Right.
Fixed signs tend to be more stern, held in place, and then your mutable signs like your Virgos, your Geminis, bendy, wibbly wobbly is kind of
Mhm.
the way that I would describe it, says the Virgo
And I'm
Gemini.
Right. And also, if you're familiar with the Card Slingers Coast to Coast podcast, we have all 3 fire signs in the 3 co-hosts. And so you can see that kind of stuff in action with cardinal, with mutable, and with fixed in our personalities. You can definitely see all of the facets of the fire signs and cardinal, muted, and fixed in action during a single podcast episode. But go on.
So then we get into what suit is assigned to each element. So fire signs are wands, earth signs are pentacles, discicles, coins, whatever you call them, cups, and then cups are water signs, air is the swords, and earth is the discicles. So, and then from there, it kind of just goes 2 to 10 for each of the cards. So if you're an Aries who happens to be like the first so the first deacon of Aries, and that's our slices here. So if you're born between March 21st and March 30th, for example, you're a 2 of Wands person, and this is during the deacon in which the Mars is most present. So you'll see in Aries we have Mars, the Sun, and Venus, and those are the planets that kind of go through that deacon. So all of Aries is a Mars ruled sign, but depending on where you're born in that little slice, that decides what's most dominant. So it's either Mars, the Sun, or Venus in this situation. And so if you look even further past that, underneath where it says Mars, I don't really get into the whole sun, moon, dragon's head exalted stuff. It's
Mhm.
wonderful. It's great. I don't really know too much about it. I haven't the tinfoil hat is on, but it's not fully adhered yet in that respect.
There's like a hole. There's a hole in
There's
the
a little
teeth.
hole. There's a ventilation hole to let the steam out.
Yeah.
Eventually I'll get there, but I'm not super familiar with that. So thoth people who are ready to light the pitchforks, time. So when we go below that, you'll see what court card is in charge of you in that area. So if you'll see, they always overlap. So if you're at the end of your sign, you'll see that it overlaps a bit. So for example, like for the first two decans of Aries, we have the Queen of Wands. So if you're in the first two decans, you're a Queen of Wands person. But if you're in that last decan, April 1st to April 20th, then you're under the territory of the Prince of Discs. And for Thoth people, princes are kings. To me,
Right.
some people have very strong opinions about Thoth in general. Some people are very, very strict that princes are kings. Some people